yogis. Amanda Mays here for your level 1 Vinyasa flow class. I'm so excited to be back on the mat with all of you today and hope that wherever you're joining from, whenever you're joining from, all is still going great by you. You don't need much for class today, just a yoga mat, maybe a bottle of water. And before we start, just remember today to trust your intuition. We'll focus a lot on this concept throughout our class, but really make sure you check in with yourself as we move from shape to shape and ensure that you take the variation that intuitively feels best in your body. All right, let's get started. Tabletop pose is where we'll meet. Stack your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees, and draw your gaze down. Draw your big toes to touch. Open your knees out nice and wide. And exhale, child's pose. Sit your glutes onto your heels. Extend your palms up as close as you can get them towards the top of your space. Rest your forehead on the mat in between your elbows. Maybe today you keep your forearms lifted or you release them down to the mat. If at any point child's pose feels like a lot, you can always come back up to a seat. Draw your kneecaps closer towards one another and then come back down. Use this time as playtime to begin to feel comfortable in your own body, to investigate. Softly close over your eyes if that feels good. Rock your forehead from side to side. As you begin to make contact with your third eye center, in yoga where your seat of intuition rests, just in between your eyebrows. It's said that in yoga, this is our illumination, the space where our light comes from. We've all got one. Sometimes it's dim, sometimes it's bright. Our light can kind of be equated to what we have to share with the world. So as you rock this space side to side, make a commitment to yourself to take these next 60 minutes to turn inward, knowing that the answers you're seeking are already there. Let's unite on our breath. Take a big inhale, fill all the way out. An open mouth exhale, sigh all the way out. Again, just like that, breathe in, fill up. An open mouth exhale, release. Last one together like that, inhale. Let go of something, exhale. This time, inhale, seal your lips. Exhale through your nose to turn on your Ujjayi breath. Your Ujjayi breath, it's the steady breath that we'll use throughout our Vinyasa yoga practice today. We'll use this breath to flow and move each posture, linked to an inhale or an exhale. Take another Ujjayi breath in, fill up nice and slowly. Keep your lips sealed, audible Ujjayi breath back out through your nose. Next inhale, rise up to tabletop pose. Again, stack shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, and draw your gaze down. Make sure your knees and your hands are shoulder width or hips width distance on the mat. Squeeze your belly a lot. Press through your palms and keep your gaze down. Take one breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Tuck your toes. Send your hips up and back behind you. In your downward facing dog, just find some movements that intuitively feel really good in your body. Play around. There's no right or wrong. You can bend into your knees, come behind your tippy toes. Maybe keep the ball mounds of your feet down as you swivel your heels from side to side. Feel a nice stretch through your lats. Maybe shake your head no and yes. You're ready, find some stillness here in this first downward facing dog. Place a slight bend in your knees to eventually drive your heels closer to the mat. Consider a string attached to your tailbone as it lifts it 1 inch higher. Notice how that pulls your chest back. Press into the mat with the L, the forefinger and thumb part of your hands. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, ragdoll pose at the top of your mat. Step or crawl your feet up behind your wrists. Keep your feet about hip width distance. Place a generous bend in your knees as you release your belly towards your thighs. Relax your head and neck to hang heavy. Stay here in stillness or place your hands into opposite crooks of your elbows and gently rock and sway from side to side. Wherever you are, make sure that you're still breathing. Your Ujjayi breath. And exhale, release your palms to the mat. You can keep your feet about hips width distance or draw them together with bent knees round to stand, one vertebrae at a time. Once you're at the top, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Relax them back and down your spine. Then press your hands together at your heart. Close over your eyes for Samasthiti, standing at attention pose. If you set the intention for your practice here today, I offer you my mantra, which is, I find stillness and quiet in my mind to reconnect with my intuition. With that intention in mind, take a big breath in. A big breath out. Inhale, seal your lips, seal in your intention. Ujjayi, exhale. And flutter your eyes open. Release your palms down by your sides. Inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana. Extend your fingertips up and overhead. Gaze up or gaze out. Just pause and breathe here. Root down with all four corners of each of your feet. Bend your knees slightly so that your quads are turned on. And then squeeze your belly. Lift up and out. Draw your pinkies in. Breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Draw your hands to your heart. Hinge from your hips and reach towards the ground in front of you. Breathe in, halfway lift. Place your hands to your shin bones and gaze down. Drive the crown of your head forward. And then press your shins into your palms as your palms press into your shin bones. Take one breath in. Exhale, high plank pose, top of a push-up position, and hold here. Breathe in, shift forward slightly. Exhale, lower just halfway down to a mid-plank pose. Inhale, upward facing dog. Lift your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, find a seat on your mat and quickly watch me up here. So we just did our first chaturanga. In this vinyasa flow, there will be many more of those to come. So I'll break down the variation we just did and then show you two other options you have for class today. You are welcome to use all of these options interchangeably. Maybe try something on new today. All right, chaturanga dandasana, that's what we just did. You'll start in a high plank pose. From here, breathe in, shift forward just slightly. And then as you exhale, lower halfway to a mid-plank. Glue your elbows in by your sides. Keep your gaze down. Inhale for upward facing dog. Place the tops of your feet down. Lift your chest, gaze forward. And exhale, downward facing dog. Use your core to get you there. Option two is just like that, except you'll take everything from your knees. So start on a high plank on your knees. Shift forward just slightly. And then exhale, slowly lower, midway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Lift your chest. Maybe here you leave your thighs on the mat or they hover off. And exhale, downward facing dog. Your third and final option is just to hold a high plank pose on top of a push-up position. That's hard enough. Great place to build some strength. And then just press back and meet us in downward facing dog. All right, let's meet there now. Downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, take a big breath in. A big breath out. Let's flow breath to movement. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your space. Breathe in, halfway lift, palms to shins. Exhale, forward fold, release your spine. Inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana, lift all the way up. Exhale, forward fold, ride your whole breath out towards the mat. Breathe in, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana, your first high to mid-plank pose of class on your own. Inhale, upward facing dog, lift your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog, send it back. One more time, inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana, grow tall. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, your high to mid-plank. Inhale, upward, facing dog. Exhale, downward, facing dog. In your down dog, take one breath in. One breath out. Let's move on. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your mat. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana, sit nice and low into the imaginary seat behind you. Reach your arms up and overhead or straight out in front if that feels better in your shoulders today. Gaze down at your toes, make sure you can see them. Sink your butt a little bit lower so that it's more in line with your kneecaps. And then lift your chest by lifting your gaze. Stay here for one breath in. Exhale, forward fold, draw your hands to your heart, hinge from your hips. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, your high to mid plank pose. Inhale, upward facing dog, lift your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog, press it back. Inhale, your right toes high towards the sky behind you. Open up your right hip, you can stack it on top of the left as you shake some space into your knee and your ankle. Breathe in, re-extend your right toes back up and behind you. Exhale, low lunge, step your right foot all the way through to the top of your space. If it doesn't make it, that's okay. You can place your right hand to your ankle and then just lift your right foot through. That looks great. Inhale, warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Pivot your back foot flat. Find a deep lunge in your front knee and extend your arms out in opposite directions. Take a moment here. If your hips still feel really tight, it's pretty early in our class, you can parallel your feet and then maybe shake some more space into your hip flexors. When you're ready, come back into your warrior two pose. Look at this back foot. Draw your toes in slightly so that your hip has the permission to follow the direction of your foot. With this front knee, think about bending forward and then out to the right so that it stacks over your ankle. Lift up through your core, but relax your shoulders away from your ears. Take a big breath in. Exhale, extended side angle. Reach forward with your right arm. Tick-tock your arms to 6 and 12 as if your body were a clock. Your right forearm can rest to the inside of your knee, maybe on top of your thigh. Wherever you are, think about pulling your left hip open to stack on top of the right one, and then squeeze your left side oblique so that your torso elevates and lifts 1 inch higher. Gaze up if that feels okay in your neck. Take a breath in. Stay with me, breath out. Inhale, reverse warrior. Place your left hand to your back thigh. Extend your right fingertips high. Recommit to that 90-degree bend in your front kneecap. And then make sure you've got even distribution of weight into both feet. Allow both legs to help you out here. Little to no weight in this back hand. Relax your right shoulder away from your ear. Look up, lift up, breathe in. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Windmill your palms to the mat. Step back and flow through. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, your left toes high towards the sky. Open up your left hip, stack it on top of the right one. Shake some space into your knee and ankle. Breathe in, re-extend your left toes behind you, kick them up. Exhale, low lunge, swing step, or drag your left foot all the way through to the top of your mat. Inhale, warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2, pivot your back foot flat. Bend into your front knee and extend your arms out in opposite directions. Just like on the last side, if your hips feel tight, parallel your feet, shake some space. Then come back into your warrior two posture. As you spread your arms out in opposite directions, notice if your wrists drape over your ankles. If not, please shorten or widen your stance to align them. You can also, while you gaze down, ensure you have heel to arch alignment, meaning your heels are on one plane or one long line. Really reach out through your arms, feel your biceps and triceps turn on. Gaze over your left fingertips. Take a big breath in. Exhale, extended side angle. Reach forward with your left arm. Tick-tock arms to 6 and 12. You can gaze down at this left hand, either place it to the inside of your knee or on top of your thigh. Think about opening this right hip to stack on top of the left. That'll also open your chest so that your right shoulder stacks on top of the left. Squeeze your right side body, lift an inch higher as you gaze up. Breathe in. Stay here, breathe out. Inhale, reverse warrior. Place your right hand to your back thigh. Extend your left fingertips high. Recommit to this 90-degree lunge in your front knee. And square your chest off towards the sound of my voice. Look up, lift up. Breathe in. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, high to mid-plank pose. Inhale, upward facing dog, lift your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog, send your hips back. Reset with one breath in. One breath out. We'll flow that whole series 2 times through. One breath, one posture to one movement. Let's hit it. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your mat. Breathe in, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, forward fold, release. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana, sit nice and low. Exhale, forward fold, release. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, your right toes high towards the sky. Exhale, low lunge. Draw your right foot all the way through to the top. Inhale, warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Pivot your back foot flat. Reach out. Exhale, extended side angle. Reach forward. Tick-tock. Breathe in, reverse warrior. Right arm lifts. Look up at it. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, your left toes high towards the sky. Exhale, low lunge, step it all the way through. Inhale, warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, extended side angle, reach forward. Breathe in, reverse warrior, left arm lifts. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take one breath in. And one breath out. One more time through. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your space. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Sit lower than you think you can. Nice work. Exhale, forward fold, release. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Pick a variation that works for you. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, your right toes high towards the sky. Exhale, low lunge, step your right foot through. Inhale, warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2, open up. Exhale, extended side angle, reach forward. Breathe in, reverse warrior, right arm lifts. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Last side, you'll flow this one on your own. You'll start with inhale your left toes high and then trust your intuition from there to flow, move, and breathe. I'll be flowing up here if you need someone to watch. Otherwise, don't worry about right or wrong, postures being removed or added. Just allow your breath to be your guide. When you're all set, there's no rush. We'll meet in a downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, take a big breath in. Open your mouth, exhale. Again, breathe in. Open mouth, exhale, breathe out. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, find a seat on your mat. Grab some water if you have it. You could also pause this video and go get some. Towel off some sweat if you need to. How's everyone doing out there? Hopefully pretty good. All right, I'm sure you looked great. So once you're done with your quick break, we'll hop into our 3 minutes of core, 3 exercises in total. So important to support our spines over time, a strong belly. All right, when you're ready, roll all the way down until your spine reaches the ground. Once your back is on the mat, press the soles of your feet to touch. Open your knees out wide for Supta Baddha Konasana sit-ups. Let's check in here first. If your hips are feeling very tight today, press the soles of your feet farther away from your body. Or if your hips are feeling pretty mobile, you can keep the soles of your feet pretty close to you. We'll travel upwards towards your spine, some awareness here. Although we all have a natural curvature of the spine, see if you can squeeze your belly to draw your low back a little bit closer to the ground. Now clasp your palms together behind your head, elbows go wide, gaze stays high. Take a breath in to prepare. Open mouth, exhale, crunch, lift, hold up here with me just for 3. We'll hold for 2. And 1, inhale, lower back down. Open mouth, exhale, crunch, lift, and hold. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Keep moving like this. Open mouth exhales to release the heat we just built up in our Sun A and Sun B flows. Elbows stay nice and wide. Gaze stays high. Tuck your chin into your chest to keep your neck from doing any of the work here. If you'd like an added challenge, you can press the soles of your feet to touch. Hover them off the mat the entire time. Consider lifting your chest up instead of forward so that you can activate your transverse abs, the center of your core. Just a few more here. Open mouth exhales with every lift. Just for 4. Last 3. We're here for 2. And last one, gather your knees into your chest. Give yourself a quick squeeze. And when you're ready, reverse tabletop your legs. Stack your knees over your hips and flex your feet out in front of you. Clasp your palms together behind your head. Elbows go wide. Gaze stays high. Take a breath in to prepare. As you open mouth, exhale, straighten, hover your left leg, touch your left elbow to your right knee. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, twist, opposite side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Keep moving just like this. Open mouth, exhales, releasing some more heat here, hitting your side obliques in this core exercise. See if you can commit to keeping your knees over your hips. That is so hard. It feels so far away. If you're needing more of a challenge today, you can straighten your legs and scissor kick them. But if that is you, keep your ankles over your hip bones. Allow your obliques to do all of the work as you twist from side to side. Just a few more here. Keep moving. Yogi bicycles, hitting our side obliques. Just for 4. Twist and lift. Last 3. Just 2. And last one, take a well-deserved full body stretch. Legs go out long. Arms reach up and overhead. Take a big breath in. And an open mouth exhale. Again, breathe in. Open mouth, exhale, breathe out. Inhale, gather your knees into your chest. Place your palms underneath your kneecaps. Rock and roll the length of your mat until you rock up to a seat. Our last core exercise here, boat pose Navasana. Sort of roll your thighs inward so that your sit bones are truly sitting on the ground. Place your hands underneath your kneecaps. Draw your knees in towards you. Tippy toes point to the mat. Our priority in this posture is to lift your chest so that you're using your core instead of your low back. You can stay just like this, or if you'd like to add on, you'll lift one ankle in line with your kneecap, maybe the other. To add on more, you can reach your arms out by your sides. Final option, straighten your arms and legs, reach up and over. Please allow this practice to meet your body where it's at today and work from that place. We'll hold here together and breathe just for 4 more. You've got it. Lift your chest. Last 3. Breathing, potentially smiling for 2. And last one, rock and roll the length of your mat 2 or 3 times. And in your own way, we'll meet in downward facing dog in a few breaths from now. Maybe you cross your ankles, plant your palms, step back. You could always flow through a chaturanga if you'd like, or just head straight back to your downward facing dog. We'll meet there in 2 breaths from now. All right, everyone, downward facing dog is where we're at. In your downward facing dog, re-engage with your Ujjayi breath. Take an inhale through your mouth. And an exhale through your nose. Again, Ujjayi breath in. Ujjayi breath out. Let's move on. Inhale your right toes high towards the sky behind you. Exhale, low lunge, step your right foot all the way through to the top of your mat. Inhale, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Simply rise up, reach up, and pause here. Place your hands to your hips. Let's find some stability. I really like to shorten and widen my stance here. Keep your back heel lifted off of the mat. A deep lunge in your front knee. With your hands on your hips, feel your belly squeeze and lift up, and then extend your palms up in that direction as well. Take 1 breath in. Exhale, revolved crescent lunge. Draw your hands together at your heart. Hook your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. You're welcome to stay just like this, or join me as you drop your back knee down to the mat. I'll focus just on twisting from here. Wherever you are, squeeze your belly so that it remains elevated off of your right thigh. Press through your hands and gaze up at your right elbow. Feel that twist happen in your low lumbar spine. With every inhale, drive the crown of your head forward. Every exhale, tiny twist at your back. Breathe in, lengthen forward. Exhale, twist and gaze back. Last time, breathe in. Exhale, runner's lunge is your sweet release. Drop your back knee down to the mat if it's not already there. Place your hands to the inside of your right foot. Shimmy your right toes to the top right corner of your space. You can keep this foot flat or even roll to the outer edge. You're welcome to stay up on your palms. Drop to 1 or both forearms if that feels right today. My body's too tight. I'm gonna stay up here on my hands. Tuck your chin into your chest. See if you can count 4 full rounds of Ujjayi breath. 1 round is 1 inhale and 1 exhale. Slow and steady, you control the pace. Your next inhale, yogis, come back up to your palms if you're not already there. Shimmy your right foot back in between your hands. Re-engage your back leg for low lunge. Exhale, high plank pose. Kick your right foot back to meet the left. Inhale, side plank, Vashisthasana. Root down into your left palm. Reach your right arm high. You can stack or stagger your feet at the back of your mat. My favorite option for some wrist preservation, drop your left knee down towards the ground. Awesome. And then reach up through your right hand, gaze up at it. Wherever you are, lift your hips 1 inch higher towards the sky and squeeze your belly. Take 1 breath in. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. We'll find a high plank pose first and then flow through. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, your left toes high towards the sky behind you. Exhale, low lunge, step your left foot all the way through. Inhale, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Rise up, maybe right away you put your hands on your hips. Shorten and widen your stance. It'll give you some more square footage at your base. This back foot, ensure all 5 toes have captured the mat. The pinky likes to hide underneath. The more toes you have down, the more stability you'll feel. A slight bend in this back knee to open up more through your right hip flexor. And extend your palms up. Take a big breath in. Exhale, revolved crescent lunge. Draw your hands together at your heart. Hook your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Option to stay like this, or if you did drop to your back knee on the last side, please do the same thing here so that you're evened out on both sides. Think about working your thumbs towards your heart. Point your left elbow nice and high. Gaze up at it. As you inhale, drive the crown of your head forward. Exhale, tiny twist, rotate your right rib cage under the left. Again, breathe in, lengthen forward. Exhale, twist and rotate. Last time, inhale. Exhale, runner's lunge. Draw your hands to the inside of your front foot. Drop your back knee down to the mat if it's not already. Shimmy your left toes to the top left corner of your space. Keep this foot flat or find the outer edge. Notice right away the difference in mobility you have from one side to the other. Maybe here you are able to drop to your forearms, or it feels much better to stay on your hands. Remember, take a moment to listen, check in, and then trust that you are your own best guide when it comes to your body. Close your eyes and breathe. Next inhale, come back up to your palms if you're not already there. Shimmy your left foot back in between your hands. Re-engage your back leg for low lunge. Exhale, high plank pose. Kick your left foot back to meet the right. Inhale, side plank, Vashisthasana. Root down into your right palm. Reach your left arm high. Stack or stagger your feet at the back. My favorite option, find your right knee to the mat. Ensure there's one long line from your right wrist to your right elbow, through both shoulders, extending up and out of your left fingertips. Open your hips so that the left one stacks on top of the right. Gaze nice and high now. Breathe in. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, high plank pose first, and then flow through. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Reset with one breath in. One breath out. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your space. Breathe in, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. We've been here before, sit nice and low. Exhale, prayer twist. Draw your hands together at your heart. Hook your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Before you look up, look down. Ensure if one knee has come out past the other, that you bring it back in line. Sink your butt a little bit lower. Squeeze your belly to keep it off your thighs. Gaze at your right elbow. Inhale, drive the crown of your head forward. Exhale, twist. Last time, you've got this. Breathe in. Exhale, forward fold and release. Shimmy your feet to about hips width distance on the mat. Bend your knees a lot. For gorilla pose, Padahastasana. Step your feet onto your palms, so much so that your toes reach your wrists and can wiggle there, giving them a gentle massage from all of our chaturangas today. Yogis, please bow your elbows out nice and wide, and then drop your head and neck to hang heavy. You can stay here with knees and elbows bent nice and deeply, or with every inhale, straighten your knees, straighten your elbows. With every exhale, bend deeper into your knees and bow your elbows out even wider. Breathe well. Your next inhale, release your palms from underneath your feet. As you exhale, toe heel your feet to touch at center. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana, sit low, reach up or out. Exhale, prayer twist. Draw your hands to your heart. Hook your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Check that your knees are in line first, and then sink your butt low. Squeeze your belly, rotate and look up to the left. Inhale, drive the crown of your head forward, and exhale, twist. Last time, breathe in. Exhale, forward, fold, sweet, release. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. Listen carefully, exhale, downward facing dog. Just step your feet back. In your downward facing dog, take a big breath in. A big breath out. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, find a seat on your mat and watch me up here. So we've reached one of my favorite parts of class. It's yogi playtime. This is where we work on an inversion. An inversion just means anytime your heart is over your head. So technically, child's pose is an inversion. And it is a great option as a spot for you to hang out if you do not feel like getting upside down today. Remember, your intuition, check you and what your body needs today. All right, so our inversion for class, crow pose Bakasana. If you know it and you feel like you can safely work into it, by all means, hop into it now. Otherwise, please watch me first and then I'll walk you through it. All right, crow pose Bakasana. I like to start in downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, I'll walk my feet up behind my wrist, leave about 6 inches of space between the tip of my toes and the back of my wrists. What I'll start to do is bend into everything. So bend my elbows and my knees. And when I'm ready, I'll squeeze my belly, come high on my tippy toes, engage my core, look forward, and then begin to lean my body weight forward. Playing around first with one knee on this little shelf that I've created with my tricep. And then maybe I'll play around with the other. If I'm ready today, potentially, I will fly in my crow pose. All right, let's try it together. We'll meet in a downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, walk your feet up behind your wrists. Hands stay shoulder width distance, feet stay hips width distance. And then bend into your elbows and your knees. Try to create that shelf of your triceps for your knees to sit on. When you're ready, come high on your tippy toes, engage your core. Look forward, because that's where you're headed. And then start first, just lean your body weight forward. See what it feels like to have one knee on that tricep shelf. It might feel really foreign. Play around with the other. Maybe that's all you do today. And then maybe you begin to fly. For the gentlemen that are joining class today, if you are wearing shorts, it will be more helpful to you if you take this wider. We call it flying frog. So crow pose, my knees are on my tricep shelves. For flying frog, my tricep shelves are holding the inside of my knee, so just a little bit wider here. And of course, everyone can try this. You might have a little bit more luck here to elevate yourself off of the mat. All right, when you've had enough of this posture, head back to child's pose, and we'll all meet you there in about 20 seconds from now anyways. Remember, yogis, you're not too far from the ground. So if you're still playing around and you fall, that's okay. It means you're having some fun. All right, let's all make our way to child's pose. Option for embryo's pose, which just means you'll reach your arms along your sides and place your hands onto your heels. We've got the opportunity to have our forehead touching the mat again. Rock your forehead from side to side, massage that third eye center, your seat of intuition. Come back to your Ujjayi breath, slow and steady here. Take an inhale through your nose. And exhale through your nose. Again, Ujjayi breath in. Ujjayi breath out. Inhale, rise up, tabletop pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Now that we've balanced on our hands, let's balance on our feet. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your space. Breathe in, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana, sit low. Exhale, eagle pose, Garudasana on the right. Swing your right arm underneath the left. Wrap your arms until your palms touch or place your hands to your shoulders. Step your right leg high up and over the left. You can use this foot as a kickstand, dangle it, or wrap it all the way around your standing leg. Wherever you are, lift your elbows in line with your shoulders. And lift your chest as if your back were standing against a wall. Lock your eyes on something that's not moving your drishti gaze. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, rise, unravel, shake it all out. I'll try it on the other side. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana, sit low. Exhale, eagle pose, Garudasana on the left. Swing your left arm underneath the right. Always an option to give yourself a hug if your shoulders are tight. Swing your left leg up and over the right. The higher you lift that left leg, the easier it is to get it over. Once you're here, use it as a kickstand, dangle it, or wrap it around your standing leg. Shift your knees and your hips towards the sound of my voice. Squeeze everything towards center and then sit lower for some more balance. Stay with me for one breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, rise, unravel, shake it all out. Mountain pose Siddhasana is where we'll meet. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, dancer's pose, Natarajasana on the right. Draw your right elbow to your right side body. Keep your right palm up. Kick your right foot into your right glute. Reach for the inside of that foot with your hand. If you can't reach for your foot, you could always reach for your heel or your ankle. This is a perfect place to stay. Work on your balance and keep your knees knocked together. Otherwise, if you're ready to move on, breathe in, lift up first. And exhale, kick and reach. Kick your right foot into your right hand. Reach your left fingertips towards me. If you fall out, it's okay. You can come right back into the pose. Think about dropping your right hip down to meet the left one. Relaxing your left shoulder blade back in. One breath in. One breath out. Inhale, rise, unravel, shake it all out. Mountain pose Siddhasana is where we'll meet on the other side. Breathe in, lift up. And exhale, draw your left elbow into your left side oblique. Kick your left foot into your left glute. Reach for the inside of this foot with your left hand. Stay here with knees knocked together. Or if you're ready, begin to dance. Be really active as you kick and reach in opposite directions. This will give you a lot more balance at center. Press through that right foot. Feel really stable and strong through your right quad. Lock your eyes on something. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, rise, unravel, shake it all out. As you exhale, draw your hands together at your heart, close over your eyes for Samasthiti, standing at attention pose. Yogis, come back to your intention, your reason for stepping on your mat today. Even if it was a requirement to do your yoga practice, where can you open your heart to this opportunity to take this hour, the time that we have left in it, to reconnect with that tiny voice inside of you? The one that tugs and pulls at your heart. The one that's uniquely yours. The one that drives you. Allow it to drive you through the remainder of our time here together, keeping your mind on your mat, giving yourself grace and some love. You ready to blink open your eyes? For our last balancing posture together tonight, tree pose, Vrikshatrasana. Draw the sole of your right foot to your left ankle, calf, or thigh, always avoiding your knee joint because it's not supposed to bend from side to side. Once you've found that perfect spot, press your foot into your thigh and then press your thigh back into your foot. You'll notice your right kneecap open towards the right side. Continue to shift your hips forward. Option 1, you can keep your hands at your heart center. Or option 2, extend your arms up and overhead as if they were the branches of a tree. Remember, yogis, branches sway in the wind. They move from side to side. So if that's you, that's okay. It's natural. Are you still breathing? Good. If your arms are up and overhead, draw your hands back to heart center. And release your right foot down and roll out your left ankle. Inhale, tree pose, Vrikshatrasana on the other side. Press the sole of your left foot to your right ankle, calf, or thigh. And hey, this could be a different spot than on the other side. Or to open your left knee towards the left side, but keep shifting your hips towards me. Squeeze your belly so that you can lift up and out of your tailbone. Keep your hands together at your heart or extend your palms up and overhead. Your option to take whatever variation you'd like on this side, whatever expression feels good. Maybe you reach your arms out or behind you, up and overhead. You choose. Let this feel free, like an expression of your own movement. Wherever you are, everyone meet with your hands back to your heart. Release your left foot down, roll out your right ankle. Walk yourself to the top of your mat if you're not already there for our final Sun A together. Inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips. Breathe in, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, Chaturanga, Dandasana, or just step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. A breath out. Our last standing set, inhale your right toes high towards the sky. Exhale, low lunge, step your right foot all the way through. Inhale, warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. Before you stand up, draw your back foot in about 6 inches and then rise to stand. Reach your arms up and overhead. Right away, widen your stance. It should feel like you're standing on train tracks instead of a tightrope. Point your back left toes towards the top left corner of your space. Find a deep lunge in your front knee. Extend your palms up. If it feels awkward, that means you're doing it right. Take a big breath in. Exhale, warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Step your back foot a little bit farther behind you to widen your stance. Breathe in, straighten your front leg. Exhale, triangle pose, Trikonasana. Reach your right arm forward until you can't anymore, and then tick-tock your arms to 6 and 12. Yogis, we're trying to create the shape of a triangle between our right wrist, our right hip bone, and our right armpit. Although both legs are straight, ensure they're still active. You can do that by bending your knees slightly. Open your left hip to stack on top of the right one. And if it feels okay in your neck, look up at your left fingertips. Take a breath in. A breath out. Inhale, rise to stand. Keep your arms out nice and wide like wings. Point all 10 toes over to the left side of your space. As you breathe in, puff up through your chest. And exhale, Prasarita. Hinge from your hips as you swan dive towards the mat. Once you're down here, place your hands to the ground out in front of you, the mat underneath you, or to the outer edges of your feet with bent knees. If you feel any tension in your legs, point your toes in, heels out. Consider that string attached to your tailbone again. Lift your hips higher and scoot your head and neck underneath you. Keep your breath strong here to continue the hamstring opening happening at the back line of your legs. Your next inhale, place your hands to your hip bones. Squeeze your belly. Inhale, rise all the way back to stand. Exhale, warrior two towards the front of your mat. Point your right toes forward. Extend your arms out. Take a breath in. Exhale, Chaturanga, Dandasana, or downward facing dog. The choice is always yours. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Last side, inhale your left toes high. Exhale, low lunge, step through. Inhale, warrior one, Virabhadrasana 1. So let's spend some time here. Again, shorten and widen your stance. You want both feet completely on the mat. As you rise to stand, point your back right toes towards the top right corner of your space. A deep lunge in this front knee. Extend your palms up and overhead and draw your pinkies inward. Take a big breath in. Exhale, warrior two, big step back for Virabhadrasana 2 as you open up nice and wide. Breathe in, straighten your front leg. Exhale, triangle pose, Trikonasana. You can slightly bump your hips back if you'd like to negotiate some space, but ultimately the reach forward is our priority as you tick-tock. Again, creating this triangle here, armpit, hip to wrist. And then press through your feet to ensure both legs are still active. Open your chest so that it faces the sky. Look up if that feels all right. Take one breath in. One breath out. Inhale, rise back to stand. Point all 10 toes towards me. Option for a bind on this side if you'd like. Clasp your palms together behind you. Breathe in. Pull open through your chest. As you exhale, hinge from your hips. Prasarita with a bind. Allow your fist to follow your head. If this feels like way too much, please, yogis, listen to your body, release your grip. Take that variation you did on the last side with your hands to the mat or to the ground, maybe the outer edges of your feet. The more you draw the weight towards the tops of your feet, the more of an opening you'll feel through the whole back line of your body. We've got this piece of fascia that's the hard outer casing around our muscles. There's one piece that starts at our heel and goes all the way to the top of our heads. We're definitely working on that piece right now. Breathe. Yogis, if you've got that grip, release it. Everyone place your hands to your hip bones. Squeeze your belly, rise to stand. Exhale, warrior two towards the front of your mat. Extend your arms out nice and wide. Breathe in. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Either your last one of class or just meet me in a downward facing dog. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Let's slow it down. Inhale your right toes high towards the sky. Exhale, half pigeon pose on the right side. Drive your kneecap behind your wrist. Place your shin bone down on the ground. Create that 7 or check mark in your front leg. And then gaze behind you. Ensure that ankle, knee, and hip are all in one line at the back. You can stay like this at an active pigeon or begin to surrender forward into a sleeping pigeon. Yogis, if this hurts anywhere, please meet me on your spine and we'll take supine, figure 4 there. If you're joining me on your back, plant the sole of your left foot down, cross your right ankle over your left knee. You can stay just like this, or if you'd like, you can clasp your palms underneath your left thigh and pull your legs in towards your face. If you're on your back, work to keep each knee and ankle in line, creating one long line, still opening through your right hip flexor. Wherever you are, as we slow down, begin to notice what happens when we do. Maybe your mind drifts elsewhere. Maybe you feel uncomfortable with the silence. Silence, although implies quiet, can actually be really loud internally. So if that's your experience, become the observer of it. Sit with it. Notice it's there. Your next inhale, come back up to your palms if you're not already there. Supine figure 4, just stay on your back. My half pigeons, re-engage your back leg. Breathe in, 3-legged dog, send your right toes back and up, open up your hip, shake some space into your knee and ankle. You exhale, we'll meet in down dog. Inhale your left toes high towards the sky. Exhale, half pigeon pose, Ekapada Raja Kapotasana on the left. Create that 7 or check mark on the left side here. Yogis, it's okay if your heel's really close to you. If that feels better in your body, you can center yourself over your hips with a palm on either side of you. Stay up or begin to surrender down. On this side, work to find a spot where your forehead could rest. That could be stacked fists, stacked forearms, or the ground. And my supine figure 4 is on the back. Let's hit the other side. Plant the sole of your right foot down. Cross your left ankle over your knee. Stay like this, or option to clasp your palms underneath your right thigh and pull your legs in towards your face. Wherever you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. Breathe. Inhale, press yourself back up to your palms. Re-engage your back leg. Breathe in, 3-legged dog. Send your left toes back up and behind you. Open up your hip, shake some space. We'll meet everyone in downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, take a breath in. A breath out. Inhale, shift to a high plank pose. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down until your belly reaches the ground. Once you're down here, keep your palms where they are by your sides. Untuck your toes, place the tops of your feet down. Zipper your legs together. Release all of the air from your lungs. Inhale, cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Peel your chest off the mat. Draw your gaze down and hover your hands off the ground. Keep the tops of your feet down, but maybe your kneecaps lift as you squeeze your quads. Breathe in, peel 1 inch higher. And exhale, slowly release. Place one ear to the mat, maybe the left one. Drape your arms down by your sides. Close over your eyes. Inhale, draw your chin back to the center of the mat. Let's do that one more time. Place your palms by your sides. Release all of the air from your lungs. Inhale, cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Peel your chest up. Draw your gaze down and hover your hands off the mat. Maybe this time you release your glute muscles to fire on the muscles of your low back. Breathe in, lift 1 inch higher. As you exhale, release. Place your right ear to the mat this time, gaze left, and drop your arms down by your sides. Option to windshield wiper your legs from left to right if that feels good. Some release in your low back. Inhale, draw your chin back to the center of the mat. Place your palms by your sides. Press yourself up to tabletop pose. Then find one hip or the other so that you can swing your legs out long in front of you. With your legs out long in front of you, extend your arms up and overhead. Take a big breath in. Exhale, seated forward fold. Paschimottanasana. Reach your hands towards your feet, your ankles, or your calf muscles. With every inhale, think about drawing your chest towards your big toes. And then with every exhale, work your belly closer to your thighs. Keep your legs nice and straight and your spine too. One more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, rise back up to a tall seat. As you exhale for the final time of our class here together today, slowly lower all the way down until your spine reaches the ground. Once you're down here, plant the soles of your feet down, bend your knees. Reach your fingertips for your heels. You should be able to lightly graze them. Inhale, bridge pose. Shift your hips nice and high. Keep your gaze on the sky. You're welcome to stay like this with your arms by your sides, or you can shimmy your shoulders underneath you. Maybe even clasp your palms underneath your low back. Wherever you are, keep looking up and keep lifting up. Take another breath in. Exhale, slowly reverse, rewind your way out of this posture. Once your whole spine is on the mat, press the soles of your feet to touch. Open your knees out wide for Supta Baddha Konasana. Place a hand to your heart, the other to your belly. Close over your eyes just for a moment. Feel your heart beating in your chest. Something to be forever grateful for. Inhale, gather your knees back in, squeeze. As you exhale, easy supine twist. With your legs just like this, drop them off to the left side of your space. Spread your arms out nice and wide and draw a closed-eyed gaze over to the right side. It's okay if your knees don't touch, if both shoulders are not on the mat. We're really using our breath here to find some more surrender, some more release in our low spine. Inhale, draw your legs back through center. Just keep your arms out. Feel your own spine find neutral. And then when you're ready, exhale, easy supine twist. Drop your legs off to the right. Stack hips, knees, and ankles. Arms stay wide. Close-eyed gaze to the left side. Inhale, gather your knees back to center. This time, squeeze. Wrap your forearms around your shin bones. Maybe even reach your hands for your feet.
Kiss your knees in gratitude for the fact that your body can do yoga. Take one more inhale breath. And exhale, release to sweet, sweet Shavasana. Extend your legs out long. Your arms by your sides. Close over your eyes. There's no goal in mind for Shavasana, no place to be, no right or wrong way to meditate or just find stillness here. That officially marks all of our time here together today. I'll leave you like this to respect our time and our space. But I challenge you as you prepare to step off of your space and into the rest of your days to always find nuggets of quiet, to reconnect with your intuition, to know that combined with knowledge and the voice inside, the answers are always within. Take care of yourselves, take care of one another. Namaste.